Hello, welcome to Eye on Africa for your latest roundup of news from around the continent. I'm Jean-Emile Jameen. Coming up on the show this evening, amidst a surge of violence across Nigeria, Abuja begins mass trials of 500 suspected terrorists in 13 courtrooms under heavy security. It comes after more than 90 people were killed across the north this week alone, including 18 troops and a high-ranking brigadier general. Then Benin votes this Sunday as Patrice Talon steps down after a decade in power. His chosen successor, Rwanda, faces a lone challenger amidst a sidelined opposition. The economy has grown, but northern jihadist attacks and restricted political freedoms cast a shadow over the election. An Algerian boxing star, Imane Khelif, speaks exclusively to France 24 ahead of her return to the ring for her first pro fight since Olympic gold in Paris. Her comeback follows a gender eligibility controversy that initially barred her from competing, but she's now focused on training and victory. Welcome to the show. We're going to start in Nigeria, where violence has escalated at full throttle across the country this week. The death toll from Tuesday's attacks in Niger State's village of Irina has soared from an original 20 to 50. That was part of a broader surge that left around 90 people dead across northern regions since Sunday, with Kebbi State another standout. In the northeast, jihadists overran a military base near Maiduguri, killing at least 18 Nigerian troops. Among those killed was Senior Officer O.O. Brahima, a brigadier general. His death marks the second high-ranking military casualty in 5 months, underscoring a worsening security crisis. Now, staying with the theme, Nigeria has launched a mass trial of suspected terrorists at the Federal High Court in Abuja, with 13 courtrooms hearing cases despite a court vacation. At least 500 suspects are on trial. Sam Olukuya explains the proceedings.
Those on trial include individuals accused of terrorism financing and providing material support to terrorist groups. Some others are charged for carrying out terrorist acts. Authorities say about 2,000 people were killed in terrorist acts linked to those on trial. Many of the suspects were arrested during military operations and through intelligence gathering. With most of the suspects pleading guilty, the trials are expected to last just a few days. Some of the suspects have already been convicted. Some of them were sentenced to life imprisonment for carrying out terrorist attacks on multiple communities. Several terrorist groups are operating in Nigeria. Some of them, including the jihadist groups Boko Haram and its breakaway faction, the Islamic State West African Province, ISWAP, are designated terrorist groups both locally and internationally. Most of those on trial are accused of links with these two groups. As part of their violent campaign to introduce Islamic rule in Nigeria, Boko Haram and ISWAP have carried out years of killings, mass abductions, and suicide bombings. The Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, says the trials show the government's resolve to bring those involved in terrorism to justice.
Now, amidst that surge in deadly attacks, the United States has warned its citizens to reconsider travel to Nigeria, citing terrorism, kidnapping, and civil unrest. Non-emergency staff and their families at the U.S. Embassy in Abuja have also been authorized to leave. Nigeria as a whole remains at level 3, but 23 states, including Borno, Plateau, Jigawa, Kwara, Niger, Taraba, and Yobe, are under level 4 do not travel restrictions. Moving on, we now look ahead to Sunday, where people across Benin will be voting to elect a new president as Patrice Talon steps down after a decade in power. His chosen successor, Finance Minister Romuald Wadagni, is widely favoured, facing a single opposition candidate, while the main opposition party has been barred. The vote comes amidst economic growth, northern jihadist attacks, and a climate of limited political competition. Emmanuel Soji reports.
As long as there is even one Beninese who has not felt the benefits of growth in their household, it means there is still work to be done.
Romuald Wadagni, the current Minister of Economy and Finance and chosen successor of Patrice Talon, acknowledges that wealth redistribution remains a major challenge in Benin. And yet, the numbers are strong. Economic growth reached 7.5% in 2024, according to the World Bank. Investor confidence is rising and debt remains under control. For some, the country's modernization has opened up new opportunities across multiple sectors, such is the case for 34-year-old Ansper Abalo. In the span of a few years, his event management startup, Robo Events, has become a major player in the digital space.
In recent years, Benin's digital ecosystem has evolved. The country now has its own national data center. These advances allow entrepreneurs to grow and succeed.
While a new generation of entrepreneurs is emerging, others are still struggling to feel the impact of the country's economic momentum. On paper, employment remains low at around 2.3%. But Benin's Economic and Social Council states that in reality, nearly 72% of the workforce is underemployed, with young people at the forefront, like this young graduate with a degree in banking and finance. With limited opportunities, she has turned to selling second-hand clothing.
No matter what is being done, I am not benefiting from it today. Many young people with degrees are working as motorcycle taxi drivers or carrying loads in markets. We no longer want to simply show our diplomas, we want to use them.
The World Bank estimates that 9 out of 10 workers in Benin operate in the informal sector, despite the strong economic performances in the country. Charlotte Huesu has been raising her children alone since her husband's passing by selling fruit. Her income remains limited.
My child passed the A-levels, but I can't afford university fees. I used to take loans, but I've stopped.
The only adversary facing the ruling camp's candidate is Paul Hulpe, who self-describes as being from the moderate opposition. In his campaign program, he plans to ensure that all Beninese citizens enjoy the benefit of development.
Let's turn to Kigali, Rwanda, where farmers are struggling to keep land as the city expands. The government is now using satellites, fines and regulations to protect farmland from construction. Urban farming, vertical farms and hydroponics are also being promoted to grow more food on smaller plots. About 22% of the city's land is reserved for agriculture to support the growing population. Emily Boyle reports.
On the outskirts of Kigali, the ever-growing Rwandan capital, this local farmer tends to the last fields she has left.
Because of all the new buildings, this small plot of land is all I have left to support my livelihood.
Kigali's housing needs are encroaching on agricultural land at the expense of Rwanda's farmers. On top of that, the country's food security is increasingly vulnerable amid international conflict and economic pressures. But now the Rwandan government is stepping in, using satellite imagery to protect farms from disappearing.
We use those images provided by the satellites to compare with the current status of the way the population is using the land and see if there are no illegal, either illegal construction or illegal projects.
Whilst the local authorities protect existing farms, others are turning to new and innovative solutions. Kigali has become the home to a growing number of vertical farms.
Vertical farming allows you to bring farming closer to the people. And what that does is it gets people closer in touch with food, so they can do it in their homes, they can do it at their place of work.
Rwanda will have to focus on innovative agricultural solutions. The country is already the most densely populated in mainland Africa, and its population is expected to almost double by 2052.
Now, Confederation of African Football President Patrice Motsepe has been in Rabat, Morocco this evening following his visit to Dakar, Senegal yesterday. In Senegal, he met officials amidst the ongoing legal dispute over Morocco's 3-0 forfeit win in the 2025 AFCON final, match which Senegal won 1-0 on the night and have kept the trophy since. During a press conference in Rabat, Motsepe reaffirmed CAF's commitment to judicial independence, zero tolerance for corruption, and he also called for unity across Africa's 54 footballing nations. But the African football head declined to comment on the ongoing Court of Arbitration for Sport proceedings brought by Senegal.
We we have to believe in our people. We have to believe in our football players. We've got to believe in our leadership. In football, we've got to believe in our continent and our people. We've got great people. And there'll be challenges. We'll reconcile. We'll come out of the challenges of the AFCON more united and stronger than ever before.
Staying with sports, Algerian boxing star Imane Khelif is stepping back into the ring for the first time since her gold medal triumph at the Paris 2024 Olympics. Her comeback follows a gender eligibility controversy at the Games, where she was initially barred by the International Boxing Association, but later cleared to compete by the IOC. As her pro debut looms, she tells France 24 directly how she's been training and gearing up for a victorious comeback. Nasreen Benzabuchi and Juliet Brown with this report.
Still going strong. For the first time since winning gold at the Paris 2024 Olympics, Imane Khelif is returning to the boxing ring.
It's true, I've been away from the ring for about a year and a half. As a boxer and Olympic champion, I still have that flame in me, being in the ring, competing. But after the Olympic medal and the pressures I faced after the Olympic Games, I chose to withdraw for a while. I got some perspective, took care of my mental health. Today, I'm back in the ring.
Now, she's ready to go pro. She's been training for this moment for months. Her first professional match is coming up on April 23rd. 6 2-minute rounds against Germany's Julia Eagle. Her trainer, John Dovey, former coach for the French national team, is optimistic.
She's a real Olympic champion. She has this capacity to think and analyse. She has real intelligence in the ring. She's a hard worker, capable of doing things with technical finesse where you might think she's out of the game. Not everyone can do that. Once she starts to understand and gain experience during the fight, she'll be a real war machine.
This isn't the only fight she's taking on. Outside the ring, she's had to face personal attacks, scrutiny, and online harassment. On March 26th, the International Olympic Committee reintroduced gender testing for the upcoming 2028 Los Angeles Olympic Games, a decision which could compromise her participation. In the meantime, Imane Khelif has chosen to move forward, focusing on her return to the ring.
That's all the news from the African continent this evening. There's more coming up here on France 24.
They observe. They contact us. They report, film, photograph. They are the voice of the voiceless. Your eyes in the far-flung reaches of the world. The Observers, a network of 5,000 committed citizens working with France 24.
One of our observers in Côte d'Ivoire.
Amateur footage and testimonials checked by our journalists and broadcast weekly on The Observers, on France 24 and observers.france24.com.
Yeah, if they stay outside, there's no housing cost. So the pension money goes to their living expenses, mostly for food.
I wanted to go to prison because you get 3 meals a day and can take naps.
Honestly, I had no one to rely on. When I ran out of money, I ended up doing things like eating without paying. I told myself, if I get caught, I'll just go back to prison.
Japan, retirement in prison on France 24.